Okay, in this video I'm going to show how to assemble the Amped Airsoft M2 fusion engine conversion. You'll start by inserting this barrel into the body of the gun from the front. It has a couple spacers that you can see on here, but that's going to be used on the outer barrel when that extension is added. But we'll go ahead and insert the barrel into the gun. So the bucking comes out into the body. Next, you're going to take this collar, which has a couple of divots in it, and this lower block. The collar locks into that divot there. You'll put the collar on the barrel. Just slide this over here. And then we're going to put this, the lower piece, underneath the body of the gun and slide it into place. And then you rotate the collar just to match. Now there are two screws on either side that you're going to insert 5mm bolts. And you'll be using a 3mm hex key to tighten these. So these will fit right into these two holes on the side here. And they'll go into the nuts that are embedded in the side of this block. See if I can tilt that up so you can see that there's a little hole there. They don't have to be real tight at first. We can tighten that up later. Now you just set this barrel so it sits inside this hop-up. There's locking grooves in the hop-up block where this will fit nice and snugly, just like that. Next you'll take the upper piece and place this right on top. Again, this will sandwich both the collar and the barrel inside of this block. And then there are 4 3mm screws that you'll just screw in here. And you'll use a 2.5mm wrench to tighten these screws down. You don't have to go too tight. Again, there's embedded nuts in there that these are gripping into, and this just seals up the hop-up and locks it in place. Seals up the barrel and locks that in place. Alright, and now that that's holding there, I'm going to go ahead and tighten up the nuts on the outside here, these 5mm nuts, one on each side. Okay, next you're going to want to insert the fusion engine assembly, which already has the rear support block on it. And just drop this through. The front end will just go right into the hop-up block. So drop it in and just push it forward, and it'll positively lock right inside there. Then you're going to have 2 other 5mm screws, which will go in the back here and lock into the back brace. At this point you can probably tighten those all down, again with a 3mm hex key. Has captured nuts in there as well. And then there's the final locking screw right up here. Probably not required, but it's might as well use it. Uses a 3/32 hex key. This is the standard fusion engine mounting nut that's up there. And that's it. The gun's fully assembled. Now we're going to go ahead and put the front barrel assembly on. Okay, for the front barrel assembly, I have the gun turned upside down. And I'm going to slide on the outer barrel over the inner barrel. And you can see that there's a little divot right here for the set screw. So you slide that in, and then you align these 2 arrows I've engraved on the barrel. And there's a 4mm set screw here, so you use a 2mm hex key, and then you just tighten this down. And that will go into the divot on the barrel and prevent this from rotating and lock that in place. Now there's one other part you should know about. there is a 5mm hex key, set screw, excuse me, right here. This uses a 2.5mm to get that set screw out. This set screw locks this collar to the threaded barrel for this shorter section. So if you ever need to remove the shorter section, remove the set screw here, and that will unlock it, and then it can be pulled out of the gun. Alright, this is how you hook up all the electrical parts. You unlock the top cover, flip that over, pull this out, and the first thing you'll want to do is connect the trigger switch. These two connectors snap together. There's a little release lever, and just tuck that away. That'll link the trigger to the FCU. This connector here links to the box mag, so when you pull the trigger, the box mag will wind. That'll connect that way. The spring you'll just take and will go right into the top of the hop-up, and you just push it down to seat all the way. To adjust the top of the hop-up, to lock this spring in place, excuse me, you're going to need to use a 5/64 hex key. Just happened to be the one set screw I'm using here. And you just put a couple turns on the set screw, which is right in here. Don't go too far, because then you'll pinch this, the spring and block BBs. But that's enough to make it so the set screw will not, so the spring will not pull out. When you want to disengage this spring, you just back that off a couple turns, and this spring will pop right out. To adjust the hop up, you're going to want to use a 2mm hex key, because it's a 4mm set screw that sits right here. And you use this to adjust your hop up. Clockwise will increase your hop, and counterclockwise will decrease your hop up. And that is simply as a set screw which pushes down onto the bucking. And let's see, for the battery, there's a Y adapter here. So the single battery connector, I'm including a 1300 milliamp hour LiPo. So you just need one LiPo to power both the FCU and the box mag, and just drop it in there, and you should be good to go. To do box mag maintenance, if you ever get a jam or some other problem, the box mag feed tray is held in place by these two brackets on each side. These brackets are held in place by two screws on each side. Use a 2mm hex key to undo these two 3mm bolts. Captured nuts in there, so they'll always hold just fine. And the same is true on this side here. And once you remove these two, this whole mechanism will lift right out of the case here. So, and then the bottom box mag part will actually pull away. So that's how you service the box mag if you have any problems with that.